but I sure made up for it this morning if you got those trades. And but I've got the SPY long. And Jonathan, what's the target on the SPY? We got 590 something, isn't it?
Inside the roadmap,
Yeah, target there.
590, it's 591.65.
Yeah, that's a good target, I think. Okay. Now, one thing I want to show you that's very important as we approach the end of the month with the roadmap software. Let's bring up the trade tracker, Jonathan, and let's throw in a couple key things to make a point. This is our trade tracker. I use this is a very valuable tool at the first of the month. We're getting ready for the first of the month. I want to show you what I do. We'll start out with the E-mini NASDAQ. If you look at E-mini NASDAQ, you will see the 3-day high for this month for the E-mini.
$57.24.
Yeah, 57.25. Look at where we're trading now. We're up 175 points. Would you say you need to know that rule? Give me a yes if you understand what I'm pointing out here. Took out the 3-day high and we've up 150 S&P points. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ. What did it take out? 2137, no, 21, let me see it. What was it, 202? Yeah, 20,276. It's 21,372. Now let's look down at the SPY. You got the SPY in here. Three-day high, 508, no, 568.38. Last is 580. That's 20 points on SPY due to QQQ. Okay, the 3-day high is 490. All right, let's look at a couple stocks. Palantir's 3-day high is 125.25, getting very close to that. It's actually 125.61 on Palantir. Tesla's 3-day high was 294. It's at 354. AMD, put AMD in there, see where its 3-day high was. That kicked off our month. Look at that, 102 was its 3-day high. It's 115. NVIDIA's 3-day high. Are y'all getting the point how important this is to do it on that third day to find these stocks? Let's put Apple in there. I want to look at Apple because I'm going to go short Apple, I think. Everybody see the 3-day low, 198.21? And checked Apple today. Where's Apple today? Right there, 198.25. So Apple's setting up for a short. I will pay particular attention. What date? Well, 3 days will be Wednesday, June 4th, right, Jonathan? The third day? Verify that. I think the close of business of June 4th throws us into the numbers. This is the big picture for each month, finding the 3-day high, 3-day low, and making sure that you're trading with that trend. This is something you got to write down. The roadmap does it for you. It organizes it, and this is really the start of our month. Now, do we have any slides for this, Jonathan? We probably don't, do we?
Excuse me, no, not for connected dots. We'll take a break and come back for the training trade.
All right, let's just, we got the trades off. Let's come back for our train and trade. That'll start, let's make it start 7 minutes, John, to give everybody time to get me a cup of coffee and all that.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, I'm doing this. Yeah, I think we stay here. Everybody's coming in here. Uh, I can't wait to get started, but I got a minute and a half to wait. Sounded like I needed some sleep last night, doesn't it? I'm all fired up today. You know, one of the things that I'll tell you is when you see a market go up over 1% on a holiday, okay, like we did, you know there's probably new highs are in store. So you get a little bit more aggressive. I had no idea that I'd walk into this kind of week. I promise you I didn't. I've been trading for 40 something years. But I always have the philosophy if it sets up and the odds are in my favor, take the trade. If the odds are not in my favor, I don't take the trade. So I came in, didn't need to do it, but I came in with let's see, I put out, let's just count the number of trades I did. I did a future trade, that's one. I did a TNT trade, that's two. I did three more TNT trades, that's five. I think I've done about 8 trades so far today. so, so I've been busy. You got to hit it when the iron's hot, and I think the iron's very hot. You know, one of the things that you get with me, I think, is you know, a lot of people say they don't follow politics or anything like that. I've made such a lot of money off following politics and learning about how the policies affect the market that really that could be a service in itself. But I could tell that the news flow was going to stack up very positive. I don't know if you noticed this. You know, do y'all know who Kevin Hassett is? Kevin Hassett, economic advisor to Trump. Y'all know who he is? Nobody picked up on it, but he came out and I think it was on Fox Business, and he was talking about he expects the second half of the year to have 4% growth. Now, of course, that's all everybody hedges themselves with this, me included. You got to get this tax bill passed, okay? If you get the tax bill passed, can you imagine? Can you imagine what this market will do if we get 4% growth? It's way underpriced if that happens. Carol, I think you're fine. Set some orders in to take some profits along the way. That's typically what I do. I know you're flying down tomorrow. We'll meet Thursday and Friday with a historic one-on-one. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I've been saying all year long after July, if they get this bill passed, I think we'll know about the third trade day in July what it's going to look like. But anyway, we covered that this morning. But let me get going. I got some slides. The way we do this, we'll do some training, maybe some trading, and then we'll take a little break and come back through the hours of 11 to 2. I came back due to the popular emails everybody's been sending me. The TG at DTI Trader, that motivates me when I know you appreciate things like this, and that's why I decided to do it. So keep up the good work. Keep sending me those things. Let me know you do like this kind of information, and I'll try to work it in. It's called Train and Trade. Now, there's a high degree of risk involved in trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. In my opinion, my focus is on the two main tools that make us a success today. The roadmap software during this session. We'll go through MTI the next session. We'll cover the scanner and other things there. And that'll be our goal for the first half or first 2/3 of what we do today. If you got questions, it's time to ask. In my opinion, market's going higher. Where do I think it's going? Maybe today as high as 59.39, S&P to 59.65, depending on what happens around Genesis time frame. I've been following this roadmap. If we'll assume the low is 57.55, write that number down, okay? We got a new high now, which is 59.05. I was using 58.95 last night. That is my pivot number today. So we got to see we're extending the high part of the range right now, okay? And Jonathan, circle those back and forth there in June. Those lines right there where we go up and down. I'm trying to define the range. The bottom part of that range I've got defined as 57.55. Right now, the top size is about 59.15 so far today. We're still defining that range right there. It's still in question. Okay? That's what I'm doing. Does that make a lot of sense to everybody, me showing you that? Instead of talking about, I want to give you specifics that you can use to have a mental picture of what's going on. Okay. I love this roadmap. This is a warning day. It's a trend change day. The trend change today was up. That's what I identified for you, a trend change. These are trend change days. I call them warning days because you might have a strategy. I had a strategy, quite honestly, that was not very much engaged. Well, that changed from Sunday night through this morning. I'm engaged again. We'll see how it takes us to Thursday, see what we look like. See if we get another trend change day on Thursday or Friday. That's how you use it. All right, I know y'all getting tired of seeing this, but I was really excited last night. Buck, are you here? Buck? I like nothing better to get the kind of feedback I got from Buck, okay? Just pretty good stuff. Ed, or it depends on which programs you're in. Talk to Kelly Barber at DTI Trader, or talk to Andrack at DTI Trader, let them set you up. Maybe they can explain based on what you're into. Okay, pretty good. Page one. And Ed, if you'll put your phone number in there, I'll have them call you. That's page two. Now I could have stopped there, rest on my laurels. I kept going. We have got page three. You've had a couple losses there. And Jonathan's recording your phone number, Ed. One of them will get a hold of you. That's page three. 33 total trades so far in the month of May. 31 winners, 2 losers, a 94% accuracy. Unheard of in the world of real trading. Frank, that is a put. It should be a put. That should be a put, not a call. I had 4 trades in the power program this morning and 1 negative trade. My negative trade was Apple. Since September 27th, 2022, Apple has been deteriorating, and if you look at it compared to everything else, you're wasting your money being long Apple, in my opinion. Now, here's some roadmap features everybody should be using. Let's look at it step by step and ask questions. If you'll notice, I have my custom page set up with the opening. That's the opening where that market started trading. You notice 58.20. We're now trading 59.05. RB open is the recent RB. I like to know where we open at the recent RB, so it tells me about the current status. Gives me my midpoint, 58.62. Tells me my high and low of the day. I like it set up this way. Notice crude oil is weak. Notice gold has come back down. I actually got stopped out of a long position on gold. Silver's weak. Bonds are strong. That was a pleasant surprise. Look how high they went, 1231. Next stop, 113. Bitcoin is stronger than garlic, headed to 125,000. Apple is weak. AMD is strong. Amazon is strong. That's 2 of my Magic 5 this morning, or 1 of my Magic 5. Berkshire is hanging in there. NVIDIA's got earnings after Wednesday. I'm not opposed to day trading it prior to then, but it does have earnings on Wednesday. Tesla's stronger than garlic. Tesla's at 356. Not bad for old Tesla. But notice how I've got it laid out. At a glance, you get key information by the numbers. This is the way my roadmap's set up. I'm looking at it up here. That's why I can catch the moves as they're happening. Everybody understand that with the roadmap, with the custom page. Nobody has a custom page like DTI. It's the greatest custom page ever designed by a trader, in my opinion. That's the custom. Any questions about this? How to do it? How to do the columns? How to do all that? Any questions at all? This is what I'm here for. That's what Jonathan's here for. To get this out of the way, to make sure you're using your tool at the best spot possible. I see no questions, so everybody is up to speed on this. That's good. Your training's going good, Jonathan. You get those kind of responses. Now the ETR page, this is a long-term tool I've always used. That's how I keep up with what's going on. I can glance up there right now, see the current trend. That keeps me in tune. This is the way I have mine set up. You ought to have yours set up that way. This week or next week, we will go through this in Sawgrass and make sure everybody has this set up, that people attend Sawgrass either online or in person. ETR page. That's where I get my numbers from. Now the compass chart. You see the penetration bar right there? Draw the penetration bar for everybody. That's on the E-mini.
It looks to be like this one right here.
If you'll notice, it's breaking out of the frame, showing the frame where it's breaking out, that magenta color, right? So this is a setup. So once the E-mini takes out, okay, the current day's high, we go to a new level. That's what we're looking at. The frame is very important for making money. That's custom inside the roadmap. All right, the roadmap trader. This is a secret weapon inside the roadmap. Notice CoreWeave and Tesla have long. Go check the prices out when it told you to go long. This one feature will pay for your program. This is a powerful feature. Powerful feature. You gotta love it. You put any ticker in there in the world, and it will track it and tell you when to be long and short at the different reference bars. You can't, if you have trouble keeping up with the reference bars, this will do it. Okay?
Yeah, Robin, those frame lines do come with the program. And we're gonna go live, Tom, and I'll show everybody how to do that.
All right, here's the compass chart right here, looking good. All right.
Robin, on your roadmap, and we're through the live time for the first session. But if you click on your roadmap, go to setup, go to charts. A menu pops up. At the bottom of this menu, there's a checkable box for auto add RB frame. That's what you're seeing there. RB frame, reference bar frame. The prior two reference bars marking the higher of the two highs and the lower of the two lows. You might have to restart your roadmap for all of your charts to show up like that. If you don't want to restart, you can just close each of your charts and reopen them, and the RB frame should reappear. Now I'll draw an actual line at the highs that we got to clear to make some higher highs here for the day. That's what we're looking at. Get above 512.5. We got some what looks to be green skies, at least up to 59.30, Tom, which was last week's open. That was important last week. It could act as
59.30. I think somewhere between 39 and 65 should be a normal high today if it keeps moving. Okay. Let's do something real quick, Jonathan. Let's do a put this trade in there if you don't mind. Oklo, OKLO. It's a nuclear trade. Put that in there if you don't mind. All right, go out if you will. Go out if you will. Let's do it. CFI 550. Go out to June or July for an Oklo trade.
Oklo, let's see what they have to offer. I'm on Tasty Trade. They have weekly expirations, so we could do monthly June or last week June, first week of July.
Let's do last week of June. What's a 51.54? They have that?
They do. It's a little wide, so I'm not sure if this is a correct quote, but
What's a 5255? Is that a better one?
they're all wide. The options are wide. The
We'll have to use a limit order, I'm sure.
The 5154 is marked at $1 midpoint. It has a 30 cents debit or bid and $1.70 ask or so.
All right, I'm gonna bring it up on my computer because I like the sound of Oklo. OKLO. And we're looking at June 27th, Jonathan?
That's right. About 31 days out.
All right, we're gonna be about $50, right? Okay, 51, let's do it. 52, a little wide, but that's okay. We can do it 52, 55. Let's just look at it. Vertical. Okay. 52, 55.
Yeah, that one gets even wider. 52 does.
I think we can get that bought at $1.25. I'm gonna put it in there, see if we can get it bought. Try to buy it at $1.25. Jonathan? Oh, I got it bought at $1.25. Okay.
Going
So
to
30% higher, why don't we go for $1.59? And let's put that into, that's another a sunrise trade. And it's also, okay, also an MTI trade. So we'll put it in that room.
give me a moment and I'll type it.
Take your time. We got time. We're with everybody at 2 o'clock. This is a relaxed, train and trade.
Target's going to be about 160 to 170.
I'd say once you put it at 159.
Okay.
Everybody understands why I like nuclear stocks, right? I went through that. Very interesting, Ralph. Ralph says that these nuclear stocks are catching on in other industries. Eli Lilly is proposed to invest in 5.9 billion. Boy, oh boy, it's going to be, man. Can you imagine? I want to keep coming back to what I'm saying. 4% growth the second half of the year, that would be great. Anybody having fun yet? Oh, Sound of Profits. That was over on a futures trade.
All right, so that Oklo trade was issued in TNT and MTI by DTI. So if you're not in one of those Telegram channels, not in one of those programs, just be aware you won't get any updates on it.
All right, I said I was going to put some trades in MTI this week. There's one of them. And then Sunrise is fired off now 4 trades today. Gotta have that Sunrise. All right. All right, so Jonathan, showing what this looks like when you got all those features working together on one screen. Okay. The custom page, the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, it really depends on your screen size. I've got 3 of the 4 working here for us. Custom page, ETR page, and a chart.
Not enough room for the roadmap trader on there, huh?
If we lowered the font size, but that wouldn't do us
No,
any.
don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all understand? Understand he can put it on another page, but this is the value of having that on your screen. All right, Jonathan, it's 11:30. Let's see. We're going to come back. It's 11:30 starting Genesis. Let's come back why don't we come back in 15 minutes at 11:45 and talk about MTI?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
About 15 minutes, you said? Yep.
All right, I'm ready to get back at it. Are y'all?
Hey, Tom, how about a minute or two? IBM just triggered from the Tuesday Power Play
Sure.
story.
Yeah, we can take 2 minutes. I'll talk to everybody. Does everybody here understand why people that get involved with DTI and me stay with me? Do y'all get the big picture? I mean, we're not going to be right every time, but when the opportunity's there, I wrote a book called The Markets Never Sleep. I pay attention, okay? And I've just built DTI that way, okay? And I think that's what I've done, okay? Uh, you get it, Rob? Yeah, good. Phil's or Jim said he joined his medallion. He's with me for life. I love it. Okay. Jeremy, I typically will go 20 to 40% on every trade I do, 20 to 40% of what I pay. I try to train people because my customers will come and tell me, Tom, that trade I made 20% on, I made 100%. That's why I do all the training, if that makes any sense. Okay. But I'm just trying to book trades. Did you see what we've done in the month of May, Jeremy? So I just try to work. I try to help you with entries and show you how powerful it is. Once you have the roadmap and MTI working for you, you know, uh, I got another thing I teach advanced students called Tick Trade Trend. Okay. And Tick Trade Trend tells you take a little bit off at 20%, more off at about 30 to 40, and then let the last one, the trend, pay you big time. Tick Trade Trend. Been doing it for years that way. I don't get to cover it much anymore because the plate's pretty full just finding these type trades and stuff. But Tick Trade Trend's a core part of what I teach. It's found in, I talk about, I forget which book I have that talks about it. I have to go back and remember, but Tick Trade Trend is a way I really approach the market, the way I approach the market. For example, let me give you an example. Did anybody buy that SPY trade we did this morning? The SPY trade? Okay. Well, I forget what I'm probably making 30%, but a trade like that, the S&P's at 59.15. If I think it's going to 59.45, well, I'll back down. I let Jonathan come tell you, Polly. I don't want to tell you wrong. I just give him the trades and he spreads them out among the people. But so far today, I've done, just to tell you in total, about 10 trades totally today. 10 trades totally. I'm pretty active today.
Hey, Polly, I send alerts, where Tom wants me to send them. So what trade are you talking about?
I was talking about a SPY trade I did.
Well, there was a SPY trade entered for T-Buzz today for your connect the dots. And then there was a SPY trade that you wanted to send out for the Sunrise beta. So that went
That's
to
in TNT, right?
That's correct.
Ed, look what Ed. Pretty good stuff.
60% on Oklo. There you go, Ed. Nice job.
Nice job. Yeah, guys, you're gonna be hearing a lot of me on that sector. I've been on that for about 3 years. I've been involved studying the nuclear. I believe it's the future. And now it's becoming reality. And a lot of these stocks like Oklo, CCJ, SMR, set up at different times. And that sector is going to be a good sector long term. After July, I'll sink a certain amount of dollars in it after July and just hold it because I think they're going a lot higher. I think I could see $100 a share out of NNE. Definitely, it's got some potential. You know, it was up 50% last month. You know, these are the kind of things that, that you add to your account when you can. But let's talk about MTI by DTI. MTI by DTI, about 2 years running now. I put it together with Tom Delche over a Easter weekend, and boy, did we, you've heard of making the French fry. We got the French fry right here, baby. It's hot. This MTI is great. Used in conjunction with the Roadmap software, you got a double barrel approach to entry, milking, and all that all together, having both those tools. But MTI by DTI. Now, if you look, you got the, it's very simple to download and get it. But if you look at it, what you're looking for a go is being above the left-hand side, which is the long term, and being above the short-term side, which is the short term on a 30-minute chart. And you can see Oklo right there is looking pretty good. And we just got in that one, so it was hot and ready. Look at that. That's a flex grid. But these are the kind of things that you can check out. Because how many people here seem like when they buy something, it goes down. When they sell something, it goes up. Anybody ever had that issue? You won't have that issue if you follow the simple rules of MTI. I can solve your problem with MTI. Okay? And all the details there, you got the yearly open, you got the monthly open, you got the weekly open, and it's up 6%, last week. It's doing great. That white section on the long time says 37.25 on the Oklo. You should have got long. Look at that. And then you look over at the short term and saying above 50.79, you ought to be long. That's an option play. These are the kind of things you learn to integrate having MTI. There's a daily looking great on that. You can just see it got you long down there at 23, right? Green arrow, let's go long. Okay. Yep. Also tells you when to get out. Look at that long exit up there at 42.44 on the daily. And down we came.
Yep. And you got you short, so it's not just long only. You got you short.
It's not just long only. I don't want to mislead people. It's this thing plays the market, man. It has no bias. Is anybody now? I'm guilty of this. I sometimes get a bias that gets me in trouble. Is anybody guilty of that, being biased about things, hear things, and they go, I'm biased against that or whatever, it costs you money? Yeah, you got to put that out of your head. These numbers will tell you the story. Learn to trade the numbers.
I would say everybody better be typing yes, because everybody
ought to be typing yes with bias, right? Heck, Jonathan, first time after I hired you, you were biased because you had that financial background. You just didn't believe what I did work.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Blew up about 2 years of accounts, and finally he came on board. Everybody goes through it. No big deal. There's old Dave Meyer. Hey, Dave, I wear those shoes you gave me every day. Every day. All right, so as you see, it looks good. And charts, look at the chart. Pretty simple to read. Find the white line, find the green arrow, long term, short term, any way you want to trade it. Okay. And then you put this in conjunction with what I showed you on the roadmap, you're going to be batting, hopefully once you get it down about 28 or about 80%, which is unheard of, but that's what you're going to be doing. All right. That's the charts. Pretty simple, easy to get on your computer. All right, keep going. Now I'm going to let Jonathan explain this. Okay. First, how did they get the scanner on their computer, Jonathan? That'd be a question I'd ask you.
Yeah, the scanner and the charts are both, downloaded and installed basically the same way in terms of getting it onto your Thinkorswim. It's very simple. I can't show you live here, but Just MTI folks would just need to follow the prompts inside our membership area to get that. And we actually have a video tutorial, the step-by-step to get it all set up and looking like the chart you just saw and looking like this scanner right here. The scanner is, it goes on your watch list inside Thinkorswim. If you're not familiar with the Thinkorswim watch list, let me take a snapshot real quick. Hang on. So on your Thinkorswim, you've got a sidebar area over here to the left. It has your account info, news, and whatever you want to add to it. I would add a watch list to it. It's already there probably, but on that watch list, once you go through the membership area and install the scanner portion, you can come to your watch list. And it's hard to see, but the little setup gear icon at the top right of your watch list. I've circled it and drawn an arrow to it. And when you click on that, it lets you
Can y'all see what Jonathan's showing?
How about now?
Okay, there.
All right. On the left portion over here. Thanks for mentioning that, Tom. But here on the left, you got a sidebar. It has your account info, news, and a watch list by default. At the top right of your watch list, I've circled a settings gear. And you know, this is more so for maybe folks that haven't got MTI yet, because I've shown this to MTI folks 100 times. But there's a gear you click on top right that allows you to edit the way your watch list looks. So now that I've pointed it out, how things should look, let me go over to a live market. Here, I'll kind of detach this here and spread it out over that background. I'm going to recircle the gear. Again, it's very small. It's hard to see, but it's up there, top right. If I click on that gear, you can click Customize. And I'll drag this over to the left, the box that opens up. There's a Look Up a Column section over here, and you would type in, you know, I've already added it, but you would type in MTI. And I've got a lot there. I've kind of renamed over time, but you'll see one labeled MTI Daily Scan 5 or V. And that's the newest one. Again, it will only be there if you install the links from our membership area. There's video tutorials on how to do all that. And once you get that done, you've got this nice, we call it an opportunity scanner on whatever watch list you look at. And I'm looking at the NASDAQ 100 right now. But you could build your own personal watch list if you wanted to throw your nuclear stocks in there, or you know, whatever stocks you had in your portfolio or interest you as possible portfolio or option trades, either way. And you can add the opportunity scanner to your portfolio stocks just to keep track of them. Green, if you're long, is good. Red is bad, obviously. If I recycle this from alphabetical, you can click the header box to recycle. I just recycled them alphabetically. You can see Apple is red on the MTI scan. And more specifically speaking, Apple will remain in a new short, an active short, if it stays below the level of 201.66. So the opportunity scanner tells you whether it's long or short, and it will tell you kind of where your, you know, at minimum where your ABO should be. So if you're short, if Apple gets back above 201.66, it will no longer be in an active short anymore. So you have that, and then come on down. Let's look at, let's see. NVIDIA's in 3 days, right, in earnings. Let's go look at NVIDIA. It's got NVIDIA as a long trade. As long as it remains above 127.28, that's your number on NVIDIA. Tom, I just had an alert go off on TQQQ. I think that was from Tuesday Power Plays and it hit our target. So give me a moment and I'll step away and do that real quick.
All right, take your time. The other thing that you can do that I like to do is with the opportunity scanner, I like to scan my current positions and it will tell me should I hold or fold, over there under the watch list, which is a very handy feature for managing a portfolio. Okay. And it's just real simple. Click it and look at the current positions. That's a heck of a way where you get an instant portfolio review by MTI. Is everybody aware of that one? Yeah, if you got a portfolio, you just click, it's got positions and it tells you exactly where you ought to be long or short those positions. I use it every day about 3 o'clock to verify that everything I want to hold. David said he does it in the afternoon. He'd heard me say that before. Pretty cool stuff, isn't it, Dave? Pretty cool. There's a way you can adjust that, Pete. I don't know how to do it. You got to call Thinkorswim or Schwab and tell them you'd like to look at it as one position, and they'll tell you how to do it. I forget how to do it. SP likes my pivot number, making new highs. How do you say winning? Are y'all getting tired of winning? Jennifer, you just need to get that set. Jennifer, you come into Sawgrass. Perfect. We'll get you so straight now, you'll be dancing. Oh, don't worry about it. Face to face is so much better. Ask Carol. I say ask her. She's been here a lot in California. So if Carol can come from California, you can come from wherever you live.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to show you the opportunity scanner of the Seven Sisters. And it says the S&P on daily is long. Very clear, green above 58.72. Let's show you the MTI charts first on the daily. Had you long since back on May the 2nd, which was the second day of May. And it still is riding above the MTI lines, long. Let's look at the 30-minute MTI chart. This morning, it got you long at 9 a.m. Central or 10 a.m. Eastern time after the reference bar. Reference bar 3, that is, off the cash open. We go to the roadmap. Let's see, we just got to do reference bar Genesis, and it's got you long off of that bar as well. So it's still long. What else have we looked at today? On the ETR line, look at all that green down here. Since when? 9 a.m. We've had nothing but higher opens every 30 minutes.
All right, John, I want you to handle some of these questions in there, okay? because we're showing on so much.
Yeah,
Let's get all the questions answered.
yeah, definitely will. We're just kind of reviewing all the features. I thought it was pretty important.
Yeah.
Let's hop over to the questions. Tammy says, well, Jennifer says, I see the scanner, but doesn't show the last column. Yeah. This MTI daily scan, or I renamed it daily scan, but I think it's called like MTI scan V5. Like I mentioned a moment ago, I would just review the videos inside our membership area because I can't do that live, but you get the install links and you get a tutorial step by step of how to install it and make it look just like this. Now, I've also done that probably 10 to 15 times in the afternoon sessions that we do on Tuesdays or Thursdays. I can do that again this week. I know definitely did it last week and the week prior. You have a link to those recordings inside the membership area as well. And that's really the best way I can answer that question for you right now, Jennifer. By the way, Tuesdays and Thursdays, if you have Roadmap or MTI, you get an invite to my afternoon session, which is from 4:15 to 5. That's the kind of information we do show. Talk about these Roadmap features, talk about the MTI features, troubleshooting. Tammy says, can you go over the labels in the scanner? Absolutely. In the scanner, the labels are green. Let's go back to the NASDAQ 100 because you'll get more. We'll get more here. Get more to talk about is what I mean. All right, so we'll start at the top. First one we come to is Apple. I'm alphabetically sorted. Apple's is dark red. All right, it says short or less than 201.66. That means the dark red means it's been in a short before today. And as long as it stays below 201.66, it'll remain a short. The empty box here, which is black because it's a black background of the table, means the stock is not in a long or a short. And it's not close to being in a long or a short. That last part will be important once we get to the yellow boxes and you understand those. The dark green on Adobe means it's been in a buy signal before today. It's been, leading up to today, it was already in a buy signal. And as long as it stays above 404.63, it will remain in a buy signal. We get a yellow box here that says to go L. That means to go long. And the yellow boxes that say to go L, or they might say to go S for to go short and give a number, they will pop up if the stock gets within 1 point of entering into a new long or a new short signal. All right, so here's one for to go long. It's 34 cents from getting into a new MTI long signal. And down here, to go S, 1 penny. In fact, if you were watching, it just triggered into a short a moment ago and has ticked up some since then. So now it's 2 cents away from triggering into a new short. Then coming down here, we have a new buy signal on AZN that's bright green. It must be right at that new buy signal. It just went away. Here we go. This one's better, Fastenal. It says buy. It's bright green, 27 cents. That means that today it entered into a new buy signal based on the MTI setup, and it's 27 cents above the number. If it remains in a new buy signal all day long, and we close in a new buy signal today, tomorrow this bright green box will turn a dark green, and it'll have the greater than number for the buy signal entry that needs to stay above to stay a buy signal. And if we keep scrolling down, we do see a new short. And of course, that means that it was a new short today, and the number is how much is below the short entry. In this case, 55 cents. We're down here at $3.84 on this stock here. So we got a really dynamic, we call it opportunity scanner.
Jeremy asks, is there a new way to filter the new bright green to the top?
If you left click on the top header that says scanner, let me get back over to the NASDAQ. Where it says scanner, if you left click once on the header, it'll sort. Left click again, it'll sort once again. And this is the best you're going to do in terms of getting all those greens together. You'll have to scroll down a little bit because it lists the ones that are close. The yellow box is first, then it gives the bright red and bright green, then it gets into the dark green and dark red. So there's no way to get the greens at the top, but this is your next best thing, and it's just.
Well, I think you change percentages on the thing. If you hit percentages, it'll take all the greens to the top. I've done that, I think. Up there on the top where it's got percentages.
I don't have percent, but I can do net change. And, it may or may not.
Yeah, it takes most of it.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same thing.
All right, folks, any more questions? Because I want to take a 5-minute break. I've got to come back. I got something that I really believe in. I want to show you. And if this is a good time, let's take a 5-minute break. I need your attention for about 15 minutes before we get into our next section. We've covered the roadmap software. We've covered the MTI by DTI. So let's take a 5-minute break. Jonathan, give you a chance to catch up. I know I've been keeping you busy. I think I'm about 12 trades into it so far. And so everybody should be smiling. I just went and checked a few things. Pretty cool. I'll be back in 4 minutes. I'm going to walk around myself and think about how I'm going to talk to you about the next thing. It's a serious topic. Okay, we'll put this for review, what we covered. All right, so has everybody enjoyed this morning so far? We're not done. We're going to be with you to 2 o'clock, but let's review what we've covered so far. Okay. So far in the month of May, we're at 94% accuracy. I did about, I'm guessing 10 trades today. And I think, John, how are we doing on those trades I've done today?
Good start going to them, that's for sure.
Okay, that's good to hear that. Okay, so everything looks like it's rolling our way. More to come, so to speak. Okay. The custom page, I would strongly say set it up the way I've set it up as a custom page. That way you can quickly, at a glance, see the roadmap and what you ought to do. Everybody see that midpoint there? If you don't know where to place a stop when you're long, use that until you get a better place. That's the way I use that midpoint there. Okay, if I'm long or short. Okay, that's the custom page. ETR line is like one of the oldest features inside the roadmap. I use it to this day. I can glance up there now and see Tesla's about to break out. Might have a trade coming there. But I look up there and see NVIDIA's above 135, I think headed to 153. Berkshire's got a bid. At a glance, I can see all that with the ETR line. Okay. Definitely something you want to keep on your, or give real estate on your computer. The compass charts, frame everything. You know, you come to, here's the way I do it. I come to conclusion that I'm going to go long or short. Then I go look at the compass page to see the relatively positioning of the compass page. Remember when I said that if we take out that high of 12, we're going to go higher? I was looking at the relative position of what's happened today. We're above the frame, RB frame. We've broken out. It's above Genesis. We've broken out. You ought to be long. Okay. That's the compass chart. Now, this is a real game changer for most people because I do it because I've only been doing it for 40-something years. The roadmap reference bar system. So this feature right here does all the work for you. All the work. Just plug it in, tells you what to do, and then, you know, it integrates into your thinking. See, I just said, look at Tesla. Look, Tesla's starting to tell us to go higher. Okay. That's when it's at 355. It's at 358 right now. Okay. Now, MTI, on one hand, we got roadmaps. So do I need both? I think you do. MTI by DTI. This is what I like about MTI. Long, short, or out with MTI is easy to figure out. you got to remember three things. What time frame you want to trade, and that's where you focus on the white lines. The second thing you want to remember is, do you have a green arrow or red arrow? And the third thing you want to remember, are you above the white line or below the white line if you're going short? MTI by DTI. Very simple to set up right there on your computer. Does everybody see the year where, like this particular stock's up 149%? For the month, it's up 113 till this month it caught fire. This week up 6.81%. Gives me my key numbers, gives me my look of Oak Low. That's Oak Low. And there's, if you want to see a bigger picture of it, it's right there for everybody in the world to see. 52.89. 30-minute takes it in close. You can drill in real close and know, hey, looking good. 53.15, next high. Now, the opportunity scanner, when I run out of trade ideas, I go to the opportunity scanner and I will look at either the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 100, or the Dow Jones. Real quick, I can find out where to go in a market like today when I run out of stock ideas, okay? I go there. And one thing I wanted to show you, and I didn't get a chance, we'll do that later on, how to plug options on the MTI, which is a feature that tells you, hey, I'm long this call option, what does it look like? That's something we hadn't done, we'll do when we come back in the next 2 hours. All right, folks, here's what I did. I put together a Memorial Day special. MTI, BIP, in 1 year of the roadmap. I've cut the price of the roadmap down to make this happen at this price. If you bought MTI, don't have the roadmap, you just need the roadmap, click that link. This is the 1 day only, 1 day only. If you need both, you get the combined price. If you got the roadmap, don't have MTI, you click that link. 1 day only, today. And as SP just said, that's a steal. He's right. This is 1 day only. I'm doing retro practices. I had some room on the roadmap to do. I didn't have it on MTI, but we got it for you today. Get it? Put the links in your favor. Now listen to this. I know I've already talked to Kelly and Jeffrey Barber, or Kelly Barber and Jeffrey Ondraka. Sorry about that, both my two. But they will work with you if you can't make the whole price. I told them what to do. If you'll call them, if you want to talk to them, put your name, phone number in here, and they'll call you. Okay, they're in the room right now, but they'll do it. The link for just a roadmap, Jeremy, he'll click it. If you're already a roadmap member and you want to extend your product by a year, today's the day to do it. If you're already a roadmap member, take that price. I'm not going to do it again. There it is, right there for a year. Everybody understand, if you're a roadmap member, extend your length today if you already got MTI and you want to extend it. We'll do that today only. Listen to me, John, and make sure everybody understands this is the day only price. All right, let's give in 5 minutes. I told you I'd get your attention. We'll come, no, it's given longer than that to get signed up. It's 20. Time-wise, let me look at the clock. It's 12:30. Let's come back. Let's take a 15-minute break, Jonathan, and come back. You can fill me in on all the open trades and pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I'll be back in 15 minutes. We got more to cover. Any questions you have, ask them. I'll be glad to do it. Kelly and Jeffrey will be in touch with you. Thanks for posting your number, Gotham. Anybody else, put your number in there. You'll get a call directly from them right now. Taking care of business. Yeah, Dave, today you can. If you got MTI, you can do that today only. What David asked was he's a VIP on MTI and he'd like to get the roadmap on the special. And I said, today only, this is a Memorial Day special, you could do it. How's that, Dave? That's pretty good, isn't it? Today only. My goal is to have everybody make my job a lot easier if everybody's got MTI and roadmap, because I know your success is going to grow. And with these two tools, nobody can compete with you. You're better, in my opinion, you're better than 90% of people that are trying to do what we're trying to do. Because you got the tools. These tools are fantastic. If you don't believe me, just ask the people that have it. They're smiling from ear to ear. Hey, Paulie, do me a favor. Call Barbara at DTI Trader. Put your number here. They'll work with you on what you're trying to do. Okay? Just put your name and phone number, and they'll get you handled today. Just tell her what you're trying to do. Where did I say the S&P was going? We're about 7 points away from from that 39, that'd be a heck of a move, wouldn't it? Gotta love futures. Hi, Jonathan, you there?
Hey, Tom.
Okay, let's, if we will, let's go look at the compass chart for the roadmap software. Way to go, Jeremy. Pete's loving my futures first. Way to go, Pete. Okay, if you look at the target, we had a target set earlier this morning, 59. I said 39 to 60. The target's 59.46. Everybody see that? Circle that, Jonathan, if you will. You've got an extension on Genesis, circle Genesis, if you will. You got an extension that did not, 4 out of 5 days on Genesis, you usually mark a high or low around this time frame. You got an extension run here, which means that's really bullish, okay? Really bullish, which means that we hit a home run with this trade, these trades we did. Okay, so that's E-mini on the roadmap. Let's, Jonathan, for the fun of it, let's go to the scanner and scan the S&P 100 and see what stocks are saying are in the green.
Okay, I'll bring up the scanner.
Just walking through it step by step.
Right up here at watch list, it says Seven Sisters because I have a Seven Sisters watch list. But when you click on that box, it gives you a drop down. There's your step one. If I scroll over public and go to R, and for me, it says R through W. For you, it might be something different. That's step two. Over here to the right, you get a secondary drop down. I'll find S&P 100. That's step three. Click on that. Step four, I'm going to cycle this to show us the longs and scroll down to the longs. There we go, Tom.
Just interpret that for everybody, if you will, what they're looking at. Pick some stock you like.
Well, first of all, if I just scroll through the list quickly, you'll see the majority, more than half, it looks like are green. So that's good if you're long. Now, I see Meta in there. I see Microsoft. I see Adobe, Caterpillar, Tesla, JP Morgan.
Would y'all like an income trade? Anybody want an income trade? All right, let's look at Microsoft on a daily.
Okay. There you have it.
Okay, clearly bullish. What do you got? 444? Is that the daily?
Yeah.
444. Okay, let's go look at it on the roadmap now. This one, I want everybody to have both of them. And go to a daily on the roadmap. Okay, about 450. Now go back to the 30-minute on the roadmap. Yeah, it's 450. All right, let's go look and see what they'll pay us. What are they for Microsoft? If we went not this week, but in the next week, would they give us what kind of distance do they have on the spreads or on the?
Yeah, they have strikes that are 2.5 points wide.
All right, see if you can find me a 2.5, 550, 40, 447.5 for next week.
Yeah,
See what they'll pay.
It's about 53 cents.
53 cents?
Yeah, or 50 cents or higher, probably.
Yeah, okay. I like that trade, 450, 447.5. So if Jonathan should do the math. If we got 50 cents in take and 2.5, so be 50 over 2, about a 25% return, right?
Yeah. That's right.
That fits. So let's do it. How about doing this trade? Uh, let's put this one in Moonlight.
Okay.
Y'all see what I did? I went to the scanner. Microsoft was good. I went to the roadmap. I looked at my frame, my daily, and 450 is the strike. I think we're pretty good putting it there. So 450.
What kind of target you want to put on this, Tom?
We get 50 cents. Let's buy it back at 11 cents.
Okay. Let me send that out to Moonlight.
And that'll be June 6th, right?
Yes, that's right.
You got 2.5 on June 6th?
Yeah, I'm on a Tasty Trades platform.
Huh. Interesting.
Thinkorswim not have it.
No, I was looking at Thinkorswim. I'm looking at the right one. That's two June 6s.
Yeah, see if you cycled your symbols, go away from Microsoft and go back, see if it kind of refreshes it for you. Sometimes I have to do that with Tasty Trade at least.
Really? Let me try that. Hey, that worked, Jonathan.
Okay, good.
All right, trades on. Be sure to put a good to cancel buyback at 11 cents. All right, here's another way I like to use MTI. Go to MTI. And on MTI, Jonathan, let's put the bonds in there, ZB. Notice the short term is bullish, the bearish is what, 13.27. So I'll go set an alert because I want to get long bonds at 113.27. That's another way of looking at it. See, I've got the short term bullish on the right hand side, the left hand side needs to get above 13.27. All right, put crude oil in there. Notice crude oil needs to break, what number is that, 59.33? So I'd set an alert at 59.30. This is the way I anticipate future trades, especially over in the future side, okay? Jonathan, you got any insights that you use it for? I just gave it a couple. You got any more?
I admittedly use it for the long term mostly, and I'll switch to roadmap for the short term. And
Gotcha. See, I use roadmap 30-minute. I'll go to daily. Then I'll use MTI. I probably stay fixated over on the short term personally. Okay, because I'm that kind of trader. But I'm starting to integrate the daily for income. But that's why I really, really hope everybody takes me up on the days off. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, time wise, Josh, it's 1 o'clock. I would say let's take a 15-minute break think of anything you want us to cover in this final 45 minutes to our 2 o'clock time period. Uh, I think we got things cooking pretty good right now.
All right, I put our slide back up for the Memorial Day special, one day only, and a 15-minute clock. Everybody has a chance to join again if they maybe
Yeah.
in late today.
And I want to remind everybody, if you need Kelly or Jeffrey Ondraka to call you, okay? And we'll cover that when we come back, Chris. Jonathan, see Chris's question and cover it when we come back. But if you need Kelly or Jeffrey to call, you need to put your name and phone number in here because this special goes off today. Be back in 14 minutes. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up with a fun game here. Type in any subject that you would like me and Jonathan to cover in the next 40 minutes or so. So, anything that's on your mind that you want us to cover, type it in there and then give us 5 minutes, me and him a talk, and then we'll come back and cover those subjects. This is sort of the way we do Sawgrass. I have people give me things on their mind, and okay, Kevin, Jonathan, based on time, why don't you pick 5 of them, and then me and you will talk and put an organization plan together. Come back and cover. We'll take a 5-minute break after you get the subjects narrated. Okay.
Okay, we got one. We got a second request for basically the same thing. There we got 2. We can call that 3. Four.
When Jonathan throws up the 5-minute clock, then he can call me and we'll organize it, then come back.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, Tom, I'll reset the screen share to cover 5 questions.
All right, let's do it. Overview, how do I approach each trade day? Okay. It starts with my Sunday night planning session. I have 10 tickers that I give everybody on Sunday night. And then I will record the opening prices of the what I call the Seven Sisters. That's the E-mini, the NASDAQ, Dow, crude, gold, silver, and bonds, and see how are they deviating up from the opening or down from the opening. Then I go into my reference bars for the day, and that starts out in the evening at 1800, and I will look how everything's trading reference to that's called RB1. And then when I wake up in the morning, I always make these posts into RB2 or 5 o'clock. I start thinking, how did the market look overnight? Was it generally up, generally down? And I record the high and low of the overnight session for the different Seven Sisters on the futures market. Then I started looking with stocks trading 24 hours, what stocks have order flow. For example, Tesla was up $5 from where it closed on Friday. So I said, I'm getting long Tesla. I got long Tesla at 345. Tesla's at 362 right now. And so I'm looking for order flow on the direction. I established a pivot number. My pivot number today was 58.95. I'm trading above the pivot. And then I look for stocks that will pay me the most with the money I have. When I don't know what to do, I take money and roll it into the TQQ on today. And then I'll take money out of TQQ maybe when I make a transition to options or other things that I do. I always try to keep my risk capital invested on a day like today. That's how I approach each day. Once I get to Genesis, I always expect Genesis to turn the trend, meaning today I expected it to put a top on it. It's very rare on Genesis that you get a continuation. But when you do, it's a big day. Therefore, we have a big day. That's how I approach each trade day. Any questions about that? And you can go back and listen to the tape. I covered a lot of stuff there. All right, let's go to the next one. What's the best way to pick trades with MTI by DTI for those of us new to trading? The best way is go to the scanner. And the scanner will tell you what the top stocks are. And once you get those top stocks, okay, on the scanner, you plug it in to both the short term and the long term. And all you got to remember, greater than 4, greater than the 2 white lines on the left, greater than 2 of the white lines on the right, which is a short term. You got to match. That's a stock you want to play. That's very simply how to do it, what I just told you. What's the best way to pick trades with the roadmap? And I'm going to have Jonathan show this to you. We have a scanner inside the roadmap that is a fan favorite. It's called High Noon. Jonathan, why don't you go to the roadmap and show him what the scanner is saying right now and show him how to do it.
Understands across the menu bar. I'll click on High Noon. This is going to find every stock on the long side that is both above the month open and above last week's high. And that's as of the time it ran, which is about an hour after the market opened. You can toggle it to top 20 longs, which is a percentage change from the monthly open. You see Tom's 2 favorite stocks there, CoreWeave and Dave. There's also Tesla. Or you can toggle to top shorts if we're in a bearish market. Now there's not even 20 stocks from our scanner that are showing up short. That should tell you something about the market.
Tells you how strong it is, right?
That's right. That's the high noon scanner under scans inside the roadmap software. Great
And then
feature.
I take those stocks, depending on long, short, or out, and plug it into the compass. Couple questions there for you on the right hand side.
Yes, Sylvia, the high noon scanner, all of our roadmap scanners, they update twice a day, once about an hour after the market opens, and another, excuse me, another time after the market close, so overnight. So it's like if I click on scans high noon, this last traded price for CoreWeave was whatever that was where CoreWeave was when the scanner ran about an hour after the market opened. You won't see the last price ticking along on this scanner because it's just a static scan twice a day. Once an hour after the market opens, cash market opens, and another overnight. Of course, the one overnight would be based off of most likely the closing price from the day prior. The other question from Ed is, what time is Genesis? If I open up my chart some so you can see these candles, this white candle right here is our Genesis bar. We also call it reference bar Y. It occurs 11:30 to 12 Eastern time, 11:30 a.m. up to 12 p.m. Eastern time is that 30-minute reference bar. Okay, let's go back to the slides, Tom. Oh, one more question about high noon. What is the deep dive tab? That's where you can enter your own stocks, Marge. Go to scans, high noon. Deep dive is where you can enter your own stocks. So if you couldn't find one from the list, this is probably in the list, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Palantir. Okay, Palantir's not in the list because it's not above last week's high. See that? 123 price, last week's high 128. It's got to be above 128.20 sometime this week for it to filter into the high noon scanner. But that's what the deep dive tab is for there. If you right click, you can send to Pivot Trader, which is another feature. That's a little old feature there, Tom. We haven't talked about that in quite a few years.
You might cover it real quick since somebody brought it up.
Sure, I'll toggle to the top 20 longs and I'll right click and send the grid to the Pivot Trader. It's going to take a little moment to fill in. It takes all those top 20 long stocks, filters it into this feature called Pivot Trader. Let's wait a moment to this will load in here. While it's loading in, you have the month open column, which is pretty clearly that's where the stock opened the month. You have where the stock opened the week, and you have where the stock opened the day. Then you have the last traded price. You have an LSO swing column, an LSO day column, and then a rocket column. The rocket column, there's a question on what that is. That is simply whether or not the stock is at least 2% above the monthly open. All of these will most certainly be a buy under rocket. They're probably all at least 2% above the monthly open. So it could be 2.01% or it could be 120%. It just tells you buy if it's at least 2% above the monthly open. Now for the LSO swing, you see at the bottom here, while this is still loading in, that's all good. There's a tab that says swing. The LSO swing column will say buy if the last traded price is above these three key opens, month open, week open, day open, which is the case for CoreWeave, so it's a buy. If you look down here to CCJ, the last traded price is 60.59, which is slightly below 55 now, which is slightly below the week and day opens. Right? So that's how the LSO long, short, or out what that means. That's what the LSO swing means. For the LSO day, we have to toggle over to the daily tab to get a clearer picture of what it means here. We have a day open, we have an RB open, and we have a midpoint. And it has to be above all three of those to trigger into an LSO day. And actually, more accurately speaking, if I recall, Tom, it's got to be above the high of the most recent reference bar, not just the RB open, for it to trigger into an LSO day. So what just happened? It's 1:32 Eastern time. We just got the start of a new reference bar. And so if the stock has to be above the high from the current reference bar, there's no chance right now for anything to be toggled up as a buy on the LSO day. So you got to keep that in mind. But this is really a great feature, fantastic feature that was built a number of years ago. That's the pivot trader.
All right, let's go back to our slides. Okay, how to use MTI by DTI to sell covered calls. Okay. Let's call up a stock that you might want to sell covered calls with. Tesla.
Right, let me open up the MTI charts. Tesla. Now you should be able to see the MTI by DTI chart. Tesla long term on the left, 30-minute short term on the right.
All right, what I typically do is I look at how much the stock is up for the week. Well, this is, if you look at Tesla, it says, what does it say, Jonathan? 4.21%?
Yeah.
Tesla?
That's right, yeah.
And so Tesla is actually up 6%, I think, from last Friday. I will typically take and look at a 10% gain in 5 days. Okay, so if I did a 10% gain, that means I got about another 4% to go. So, you know, if I don't want the stock called away. So I'd multiply 104% times whatever the price is. Right now it's what, 362. What's 104% times 362? 376. You don't want it to be called away. You go up to, you pop it up to 380. But usually 10% is a great rule. Because my rule is if something goes up 10% in a week, hey, maybe they ought to take it from me. Okay. But you can always, if you sell a covered call, like if I sold to 375 or 380, right? 375 or 380, and all of a sudden Tesla's at 383, I might buy it back, take a short-term loss, and sell one up at 400, especially if I'm past the 3 days for the month. Let me explain. If I've had June 4th close and Tesla's above the 3-day high, well, I don't want it called away. So I'd buy it back, take my loss, and sell some up higher. And that's just a technique that nobody teaches. I just do it that way. Okay. It's always worked good for me. 10% is 10%, the way I think about it. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Look at that feature up there. It gives you how much it's up, subtract it from 10, multiply that times the stock, and that gives you a good covered call for that week. And that's just technique. Okay, let's go back to the questions. How do I evaluate policies from the U.S. government? Okay, first of all, you got to understand, does the market listen to the commander-in-chief? I would say, based on my experience, the market has about a 90% a 90% reaction to whatever he says. Okay, that's my experience, 90%. Then I look at other people that might have some influence. When Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, started, okay, when he started, I would say it's about 10%. I got him up to 50% in my mind when Bessent speaks. People starting to listen to this guy. They realize just how smart this guy is. That's my opinion. Over on the government side, I don't think anybody pays much attention to Rubio. Not because he's not a smart guy, it's just that I don't think he affects the market. Okay, it's Trump or Bessent that affect the market, in my estimation, out of the administration. As far as Congress goes, I don't think the head of the U.S. Representatives, Mike Johnson, really has a big effect on the market. He's pretty much in line with what Trump's saying. I think over on the Senate might have a little bit more effect, but he doesn't really come out there a lot. So I don't have a real good opinion of him. There's nobody else that I would look to other than the Fed chairman. The Fed chairman, short term, right now, probably has the best track record of any Fed chairman I've ever seen for market direction. In other words, when that guy opens his mouth, the market goes down. Go plot it out, short term. That guy opens his mouth, the market's going to go down. And that's something you got to be aware of anytime you see that guy speaking. Foreign leaders, I don't think anybody out there would get my attention right now. So really, follow Bessent. You can do that on X. Jonathan showed me how to do it on X, where you can see anytime Bessent talks, follow Trump. Those are the two you want to follow. The policies, I will tell you this, long term, the more you put money in private hands, the better it is, as a general principle, in my opinion. In other words, if they give more back to the taxpayer, that's good for the economy, okay? If they cut regulations, that's good for the economy. If they cut taxes, that's great for us individuals. We'll do a lot better job spending our own money than the government will, based on my experience, in my opinion. Now, did you enjoy today's session for Train and Trade? Train and Trade. Did you enjoy today's session? It's been fun, hasn't it? It's been fun. Now we've got our direction. It's Tuesday. It's been an abbreviated Tuesday from the standpoint it started on Monday night or Sunday night. And I think that it's so much fun to be with you this much time. However, I put out a lot of trades today. Didn't have to do that, but I wanted to because we had that kind of opportunity. You'll find working with me, if I'm like today, it's one of those days. Generally speaking, it's a grind. The day was, throw the darts and go with the flow. So let's see where we go from here. My schedule's the following. If you're in the futures first, I'm gonna look at this market today for a trade to put on in futures first. Sometime, maybe at the close. If I don't put one on by the close, I'll put one on sometime after 9 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, we have the Academy at 10. At 3, we have the flash meeting tomorrow afternoon. And then at 8 o'clock, we got the midweek market update. It's been fun being with everybody. And I think it's been not only fun, but profitable. The original trade that I gave in here when we started, it's paid you big time. Take advantage of what I put out here on the Memorial Day special. This goes off the board today. I said, if you got any questions, contact Barber at DTI Trader. John will put that in there. And Andrack at DTI Trader. Kevin, this has sort of been a zebra class. So I will do something special for zebra. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow. Any questions, contact. Been a great day. I want to thank Jonathan for keeping up with me. You didn't get a lot of break time from the break. We jumped in order pretty fast today, but we added to our record of what we've done. I don't know if we've hit, Jonathan, have we hit any targets on what we did today? I'm just curious.
Not from the new trays, not yet.
Nothing from the new trays. Okay, well, that's good. That's about all I got.
Well, I take that back. We did hit some in the Tuesday Power Play service.
Well, you ought to tell people about it. They don't not going to know unless you tell us.
I'm pretty sure I just told everybody, hey, Tuesday Power Play, 2 profits.
We got 2 profits over there.
That's correct.
Marge, what you need to do is just put referred by DTI. Call John or send Jonathan an email and he'll send you the link, and that'll tell them everything they need to know. I didn't hear you, Jonathan. What did you say we hit in power? I'm sorry.
Well, I said we took 2 profits, and then you asked if we took 2 profits, and I said that's correct. I think I said that as you were saying something.
Yeah. What stocks did we do it in?
TQQQ.
Okay.
And Tesla.
Well, that sounds good. All right. Add to our. Buck, are you here? Buck? I saw him here earlier. Buck? And we'll catch him next time. All right. Get joined. The Memorial Day special goes off the board today. Go Tesla, go. I'm long. We'll see if it pays. Thank you, thank you, thank you.